All right, just about to work out. Gonna do some myofascial release stuff and a bunch of other movements to kind of prep me for going on a run. And as you guys know, I dig Kratom. Some of you may not be aware, I have a company called Mindbullet. We sell Kratom in these gummy forms. We have it in this tea form right here. This is probably my favorite one right here. We have it also in these double shots signifying that there's 2 dosages in here. And then we have it in its pure form, pure plant form, just in these capsules. Now, one of the differences I wanted to discuss with you is that the capsules, and we also sell tablets of Kratom. This is like full spectrum mitragine, right? And when we extract it, it becomes more powerful, right? And having it be more powerful, it may not always be the desired result. Just like you go into a coffee shop and blasting a bunch of espresso may not always be the desired result. Maybe instead you want to go for tea, or instead you want to have a smaller cup of coffee because you don't want to be as revved up. So depending on what you're looking for to get from something like Mindbullet, something like Kratom, something like mitragine specioso, it really depends on which one you're going to pick. For me, a lot of times when I just want a little mild mood enhancement, it might just be 2 or 3 capsules. Sometimes when I'm about to work out, sometimes when I'm about to run, I might choose something a little stronger, like this guy, or some of these gummies. For today, I'm just gonna take a little swig of this guy, because this guy does the trick. Give it a little shake, and I'll show you guys on the side here, kind of small, but on the side, you can, it kind of has a little thingy so you can dose it. So here we go. And that's probably all I'm going to take, so you can kind of see. I probably took like a quarter. We're doing drugs over here, ladies and gentlemen. Make no mistake about it. Anyway, time to work out, time to do some myofascial release, see if I can alleviate some tension. Lower back is like a little bit tight. Body feels really good. I also need to kind of get into my quads because I'm trying to get my, I guess, stride to open up when I'm running. And so one of the first things I like to do is, a lot of times I'll do myofascial release on the ground, right? But the ground sometimes is annoying and the ground sometimes hurts. So I'll actually just put down something soft on the ground so it doesn't, so it's less annoying. This is a Go mat from Rogue Fitness I picked up a long time ago. Jason Kalipa created this product years ago. I'm not sure if he still sells it or if they still sell it on Rogue's website, but this thing is great. This thing will kick the shit out of a yoga mat any day of the week. I find that like whenever I've gone into a yoga class that I might as well bring something like this into a yoga class, because again, stretching on the ground for me at this stage, it kind of hurts. The ground is hard and my body isn't supple enough to handle it. So it's nice to have something that's gonna kind of cushion some of what you're gonna do. So I'm gonna get a couple of these balls rallied up. So the first area I'm gonna try to work on is like some of the thoracic spine. I'm gonna do so with these balls here that are in this tote. This is from Jill Miller. Her company is right there. I think it says it on there. This guy can be key. Scoot something underneath your butt. You can use like a yoga block or whatever. So that way I can really start to push in this way. And I'm gonna be here for a minute or two, you know, for like 2 minutes. So while I'm here, it's nice to have something that's gonna keep me up high on the hips. These practices are sometimes these practices can sometimes be like kind of annoying because it's time consuming. Like, this isn't fun. This isn't like bench pressing or squatting or deadlifting. But this is like I just think if you want to be better at something, if you want to be good at something, it doesn't really take much, but if you want to be great at something, it takes everything. And so for me, like, I want to continue to be better. I want to continue to make progress. And while I'm doing that, that may require that I do more things like this. That I don't really necessarily love this as much. But what I do love is getting results. And over the years, it's been really helpful to be around like-minded people that want to improve and want to get better. And it's a big reason, like, I think it's really motivating to see Nsima each day jump roping and doing weird shit to increase the strength of, like, his neck and his fingers and all these weird things, because he's already strong, already has a good prowess with what he does in jiu-jitsu. But he knows that he can be better. And then so if you know that you can be better, that might entail you doing things that you might not really love those things, but you have this North Star goal that you really do love and enjoy. And therefore, it makes it easier for you to get on the ground and do some of the shit that you maybe don't feel like doing all the time. So right now I'm rolling on the thoracic spine. I basically, in my own opinion, could not be any stiffer through like my thoracic spine, and that is like kind of just arching up and pulling up the rib cage. Like, it's not horrible, but you know, over the years of just lifting weights and stuff like that, I just have gotten myself to be pretty stiff through that area, and so I'm trying to run it over basically like a speed bump. I'm trying to run this over like we did in my friend's car when we were in high school. He had what we called the gray gondola, which was this piece of shit car that he had. And we went to the bank one time after he got a paycheck from work, and he hit this speed bump super hard and fast, like kind of on purpose. He was just like messing around, and he just hit the gas. And what it did is it knocked his it like messed his shocks up. So then he had no shocks. And then so every time he'd pick me up for school, because I didn't have my license yet, we would ride to school in this car that would like bounce. Like it was this fucking like low rider car or some shit. And he said to me one day, he's like, fuck man, I don't know how I'm gonna fix this car. I said, well, the answer is to go back to the bank. So honest to God, we went back to the bank, he gunned it and smashed his car on the speed bump again, and it totally worked. It like, it made the car like forever shorter somehow, and like the front tire rubbed. But anyway, that's what I'm trying to do with my upper back right here. Trying to run it over so much that I kind of break it, and then I break it so much that I fix it, if that makes sense. So as you're doing this, it's good to move the arms around a bunch. It's good to try to get some movement, whatever way you can. Whatever way you can, it's good to get some movement. Sorry, this thing keeps moving around. Protract your shoulders. Now we're starting to get like mid-back. It's getting real gnarly. Oh. I think even for a lot of you guys and girls out there that are fit, I think that when you do these movements, you'll find that this is like activity and exercise. Like what I'm doing right now, it's super mild just because I'm on my back. But once I switch over to my front, I'll be in a lot of like push-up positions and stuff like that, where you are kind of holding positions for a while with your myofascial release. So this isn't like a free trip here. This is they're still contracting. There's still some engagement. It's more activity than sitting on the couch, that's for sure. Holy shit, my tits are getting big. Wow, that's not bad. Look at that. Now we're kind of into the lower back, and it's like kind of hard to get the same stimulus, so I'm gonna move on to the next thing. Whew. So now I'm gonna start to try to get into some quaddy type stuff down in here. These guys, at first glance, they don't really feel bad at all, but there's definitely, like, there's a guy in here for sure, I can feel. Sometimes you can just take some of these different tools that you have, and you should have all this stuff. Like, honestly, like, just buy it. Just buy a bunch of stuff. Like, buy some softballs. Actually, one of the greatest mobility tools that you can get, I really recommend a softball. I think those are good. But a youth baseball works unbelievable. But way the hell better. Way the hell better than lacrosse ball. Lacrosse balls are great, but a youth baseball, so the kids don't get hurt, it's got like a little bit of padding and surrounding to it that's encased in, and it's just enough just to take the kind of zing off of the way that some of this shit feels. So you got different types of objects that you can use that are like harder, right? And you have different surfaces you can go on. There's a big difference between using this on here versus using this on here. It just depends, and I don't think, like, the goal isn't to like kill yourself with any of this stuff. So in my opinion, it's best to always start out kind of easier, and then you can work your way into things that are tougher. But we're going to start with this guy, and we're going to start right there. And that amount of pressure, like, literally just feels like I got kicked in the leg by, maybe not Roy Jones, but someone maybe close to being as good as him. And that's because that area is just like lit up. It's inflamed. Like that shouldn't hurt. That amount of touch, like, it should not hurt. And I know that it shouldn't hurt because I roll through these areas all the time, and a lot of times it doesn't hurt. So people get all weird and all pissy about whether this is actually releasing something or if this is actually breaking up fascia or whatever, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of all of that super technical stuff. When I do things like this, it helps me to feel better. And I don't think 47 years old is old, but I've done a lot of stuff with my body, and I'm still able to do almost every single thing that I was able to do when I was a kid. There's a couple differences, like I could throw a ball a lot further and a lot harder, and I could run faster. And that's, like, honestly it. And I'm working on some of that. I should actually work on throwing now that I think about it. That'd be a great thing to work on. Because it's pretty hard for me to chuck a ball like 20, 30 yards these days. Just from all the tightness and stiffness. But our boy Dre came out here, and he was throwing some freaking bombs. I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy shit. Yeah, he was really ripping the football pretty good. Probably a good 50, 60 yards. So that's kind of a super passive way to kind of get in there. Now we're just going to get a little more aggressive. Going to just dump more weight on there. And cross this leg over. And that right there just, that is very unfriendly. And for those of you who have hip pain, like, this is your hip, this is a lot of your hip pain. This is a lot of your knee pain. And, you know, people will ask, is it the IT band? It's like, who cares? Just find this spot that's gnarly and just start working on it. Start rubbing it out. Hopefully your mom doesn't walk in. One thing I do like about stuff like this is, to me, there's no hype to this. There's no, you know, I don't need to be all fired up. I don't need to be, it really doesn't take a lot of energy. It's just like, hey, you know what? That makes you feel better. Go on the ground, do it. Be an adult. And I choose to do a lot of this stuff at home. But sometimes it's motivating to come here to the gym knowing that there's going to be, I can like borrow energy. You know, I came in today and Eric was already lifting. To me, that feels good. There's music on. People are already active. They're already moving. I'm going to like steal the energy or make some of it myself with other people. Kind of fun. Part of the reason why I like to walk when I go walking is one of the reasons why I choose to go downtown Davis a lot of times is because there's other people out there. It's not so ronery. I don't like being ronery. So now we're gonna go super duper pooper scooper into this. I should be able to get my elbow like more to the ground, but I'm a pussy. So if the more this leg is out and the more that I'm like this way, the less pain that I'm in. I'm not really trying to put myself in more pain, but I am trying to work through some tissue that's gross. Remember, we want to use the skill of nasal breathing whenever we can, so whenever you can work on returning to that. I'm going to also try not to, you know, try to have these inputs be calm, right? There we go. And the more I lay this way, the more I stretch through here as I'm working here. I can't even explain to you like how devastating this is, but it's more devastating to walk around with this and to not address it. So that's why I'm addressing it. Think about like I think a big reason why a lot of people can't sleep is they have a lot of gnomes in their system that they don't know about, that they haven't poked around and found yet. You find some of this shit and you'll sleep a lot better. You gotta get it out. I'm spending kind of a lot of time on this. Normally it's just 2 or 3 minutes, but today this feels like it needs more. So intuitively just doing more. If you're trying to show this to someone who's maybe, you know, a little older or something like that, and you're trying to be passive with it, you know, it's nice to have a ball that's soft. It's nice to have something, you know, the ground that's soft. And just have them put their own body weight of their leg onto the item. And then they can take their own arm or hand and push down. And then they can kind of go here. For a lot of people, that's going to be plenty of pressure. You can move some of your tissue around as you're doing this. All right, we can kind of move here. Or you can kind of move your body around it. This feels better though, and this, like, my whole like knee and quad, it doesn't really feel pinned down, but you know, you guys seen me run, like it's clear that something has got me staying binded together, right? And it's not just this one spot, obviously there's multiple spots to work on, but this is a good one. All right, we're gonna get into that other quad, which would probably be a lot easier. A lot of times the other side, even though you think it's gonna be better, a lot of times it's worse. So that's a really interesting piece of the puzzle too. You wanna get hip flexor, you could literally go straight down into the hip flexor. The hip flexor though is an area that's kind of a little buried on most people. And so you might need something harder to get right on the hip flexor. You may have to go, boom, right here. I should just do, you know, Ryan and I will take some time and maybe one day we'll just film an entire tutorial on maybe we'll just cover all myofascial release, step by step, just go through almost every muscle, because this is the shit, man. This stuff really works. There's a reason why it won't leave. There's a reason why it won't go away. There's a reason why there's more practitioners all the time. It's because it works. It is a little bit of an inconvenience though, because you do need different objects. You do need different stuff. And it does take a little bit of time. But I would say majority of my friends at the stages that they're at, they could use a lot more of this than just actual like lifting. So they already have the dedication to the lifting. It's also just not being talked about enough. There's all these like longevity people talking about A, B, and C, and they're talking about these peptides and stuff. And just always remember, you know, if you get caught up in that, you get caught up in peptide world, you get caught up in supplement world. Just remember that anything that you do for yourself is going to be stronger than anything you can do to yourself. So you have to do stuff for yourself. It's just sort of the way it works. You can't really just take a pill. They can be effective in a lot of cases, and when it comes to medications and stuff, sometimes it's appropriate. And you and a doctor or someone or family members can kind of go over that as you cross that bridge. But in your journey to try to maybe not have so much pain and to be healthy and jacked and tan and shredded and all those things, you got to do the work. Just take a look at Nsima for a minute there. Like he's just like, what the fuck's he doing? You know, he's doing the work. Eric, right here. Boom. Doing the work. It's just like, yes, you can ingest collagen peptides, and yes, you can seek the benefits of some of those things, but what's the collagen peptides doing if we're not doing these other things? Bub's collagen peptides, by the way, are the best. Those are my faves. Super effective when it's integrated into a system where you're moving and working on your pain management. This is just, it feels like it's like literally pulling tension off of my hips, which is pretty wild, because I always think it's my hips, it's my hips, it's my hips. And it's almost like, no, it's my quads, it's my quads, it's my quads. Your quads can be the reason for your back pain. Your quads can be the reason for your hip pain. And also remember, the way to protect your back is through your glutes. And if your quads are tight, you can't really get to your glutes very well. So if you're walking around with your quads tight all the time, or your hamstrings aren't firing well, and it makes it tough to articulate the way that your hips and your back and everything should be oriented sometimes. Probably the last one that I'll do for today is I'm going to get into some stuff in my stomach. My stomach is incredibly sore from some exercises and stretches I did the other day, but probably, you know what, I'll start with this guy. So it's always good to start with the softest. This courageous ball is amazing, from my friend Joe Miller. And this one takes a second. You just want to try to melt over it. This is a good way to get used to something a little harder or stiffer in a second. Having a yoga block is a really great idea. I need to get one for the gym here. But a yoga block is like, you could put a ball on a yoga block and then you can clamp down on top of that. But I'll just use the ball for today. Hey now. It's getting in there pretty good. This is where I have crazy tightness right here. Try that guy. Remember I was saying before that there's a little working out to some of this. To hold yourself up a little bit. Whoa. Just felt like it went right through my back. Be surprised what some of these areas can do for you when you work on them. Free up that tension in the lower back from standing all day or working your manual labor job or whatever it is. Really just got to lay down on the ground and lay down on top of something. Or someone. You can breathe into it. You can get into stuff deeper. If I articulate my body in different ways, I can get into it in a different way. I would say that it's some people are like, oh, well, how do you know where to put the ball or put some of these pressures? If something feels really sketchy, then it's probably not a good idea to push into it too much. So you'll basically know, like there'll be burning and all kinds of weird shit going on. And you don't want to push into that stuff. That's not really what we're after. You want these tension points that radiate. Tension points that radiate into other muscle tissue. You should be able to feel it in a bunch of different spots. Could just say to yourself, I want to get to a spot, and then just breathe for five good breaths. Holy fuck. The more you can learn to relax, the better off you're going to be on some of that stuff. So I'm going to try to use a little harder ball and then maybe try to use that guy. But my stomach, like right here, is very, very tight. And I actually think that my upper body is a little bit more problematic than my lower body in terms of my movement. Because I have such a hard time kind of rotating and things like that, I think it's connected to like my spine and almost, I guess you'd say, like my stomach. And so I'm going to continue to kind of poke around and work on some of those areas to get some of that to free up. Cheap Sauce McGee just walked in. Going through a rough spot. Starting to really kill me here. I'm sure this is like super entertaining YouTube content. Holy. The more vulnerable these spots are, the more likely you are to be like dysfunctional in some of these areas. But you can build resilience in all this stuff. You can build a tolerance for all this stuff. And you should, because you should be kind of supple enough to have this not hurt so much. Yeah, this is pretty wild. I can't really, I'm on a spot where it's making it really hard to breathe all the way. It's making it very tough to breathe. No, I was actually just thinking like, Nsima's going to put a knee on me and just kill me. He shouldn't kiss me. Well, you could be, why is he laughing like that? You could be outed by the community, the jiu-jitsu community.
They're all gay already.
I wasn't even talking about being gay. Not sure why you brought that up. I was just talking about like your prowess and I have no experience. How it'd be frowned upon.
Ryan, edit that.
I wasn't thinking of you fucking me in the ass. But now that you brought it up.
Yay, man.
2 leg taps. Hey, just try this for a second. I'm assuming that like, I'm just assuming that you probably feel next to nothing, or because you're used to people having their.
What do you want to put in my hip flexor?
Like in your stomach a little bit.
Okay, so like here.
Yeah, next, like right across from your belly button. Okay. Yeah. I'm just curious because like, you know, you have people like digging their fucking knees into you on purpose. I wonder if like those tissues are.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel it.
Right. But you can still breathe, yeah.
I need to do more gut smashing though, because I know this could feel even better.
Yeah, like right here is like, it's not that bad today actually, but like sometimes it's just sensitive even to the touch.
Yeah, you know what, also I think I need to be doing this more too, because like, I mean, it's probably how it's like anyway, but when breathing, right? It's like you can see everything, but this bundle of tissue, and it's not like the bundle of tissue should be soft,
right,
but it should be more supple to allow for better movement.
Right.
This I need to do that more to help with it. Yeah, I'm gonna take one of these over there and just gut smash myself real quick.
It's kind of nice on the mat too, so this works pretty cool. But you can just take this spot when I'm gonna be done in a minute.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you really want to. Do want to find spots that are hot. And again, it shouldn't be crazy. It shouldn't feel like it's killing you or anything, but it should be kind of intense. And then you know the area doesn't really need much work when you no longer feel that way. But you could literally do this stuff with anything. You could use a baseball, a lacrosse ball, a football. I've actually used a towel before when I was traveling, and I didn't think the towel was gonna work, but it totally worked. I rolled the towel up real tight and just laid on my side and used it on my like hip and lower back. And it was more passive, but it still helped a lot. Wow. I should be able to like relax my feet and my hands, so I can kind of do that now. Not too bad. So people that are having a hard time going overhead with their arms, shit like this I think is really important. Because if your shoulder has been hurting for 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, you haven't had to express this lengthening of your abdominal area probably in a while. So working through some of this gut smashing can really help a lot with shoulder issues. I don't think there's wrong or right ways to do this stuff. I would just say, like, again, just be cautious. If something feels too crazy, you can always get to it on a different day. If you're trying to you're actually on an injured area, like say for example, you just smashed your knee on the ground or something, or you fell off a bike or something. That's not a good usage of myofascial release. And it wouldn't be done on something that's already like swollen. You would want to wait until it healed a little bit. And see, like, I don't really get a lot of stretching where my back is moving this way. But now I'm incorporating it because I'm doing this stuff, right? So Nsima was talking about kind of these like almost, you know, pubic bone kind of muscles. So now in the psoas area for, you know, each person you're gonna kind of feel maybe a different area, but I'm basically below the belt line, kind of right here. And as you get down towards your genitals and stuff, obviously be careful. But there is some shit to kind of explore and go through down there as well. So that's what I'm working on here. And what I'd suggest is like flex against it at first and then release on top of it.
Because that's so hard to quit. Just quit the next day. I'm lucky. Nicotine always kind of made me sick, so I never really got into it. I like the habit of yeah, so it's like, yeah, I would agree with that. I like smoking stuff. I like cigars. Cigars are great. They do make like little pouches of
I feel like I'm gonna shit myself.
just to have something. I might try something. Yeah, I like it. I don't know if I care about it. It's strange, isn't it? I agree with you. Like, I don't really care about the nicotine, but I like blowing through that. I think it's fun.
You guys just like having stuff in your mouth? You can kind of invent like an adult pacifier, you know?
It's a habit. Yeah, they have them.
Yeah.
It's called a cigarette.
I thought you were gonna say it's called a dildo.
It's called a tote.
Hey man, don't make fun of me. I'm trying to quit nicotine. Oh my God, it's like danger zone right here. One thing you guys have heard me say many, many times over is that, like, you know, what if you go to do something like this, and what if it's something that helps change your life forever? You know, you don't really know. This might not look like much, but if you're in pain, maybe this is a practice, maybe this is something you pick up. We've had so many guests of our podcast come in, and they've been huge fans of the practices that they're doing, and a lot of times they're big fans of the practices that they're doing, whether it's diet or exercise. They really enjoy and love those things because they're things that really move the needle and change their life forever, but you're never going to know about those things unless you try new shit. Holy fuck. Man down. Let's see. This would be a little quicker. Just get on the quads. Front of the quad. Some really nice pressure right there. It's just the kind of the weight of the leg. If I need more pressure, I could just put the other leg on top, or I can start to lean my body to that side. Want to get some movement in there. Felt good for that side. Over here. I need to bring some tallow in for Nsima for his lotion. He's always complaining about being ashy over there. That shit feels amazing. That feels so good. I mean, it's kind of agonizing while you're doing it. I want to show you one more hack with it. And this is just kind of, just to show you like there can be so much variety of some of these things when you do them. I'll just show you over here. So if you could stand over that way. So sometimes you'll find advantages of being on the ground and doing some myofascial release, and sometimes you'll find advantages standing up. This was taught to me by a good friend, Chris Kadowski. Watch what I do with the ball here. I'm gonna put the ball here. I'm gonna put the ball right here on the glute ham raise, right? And then I'm gonna step into it, and whatever part I wanna work on, for me it's like kind of this abdomen part right here, and now I can use my hands here. I can push. I can drive that knee forward. And now, even from here, I can do different stuff with my back. So I can bring the hips under me, right? Or I can bring the hips back. I can kind of leave the hips neutral. I can kind of move arms around as I'm going into it. This is really good pressure. And I can also, I can flex into this a little bit. So I'll flex my stomach a little bit. Just like bear down a little bit and then release. And then try to climb into there more. And you can really dig in. And you can even, you really want to go for the ultimate venture. You can even pour over top of this thing. Get your arms up here. Get an arm up there. And now almost a leg, right? It probably looks dumb, but it's probably because you never tried it. But you try some of this stuff, you'll find how crazy some of these techniques can be and what they can do for you. Remember Ronnie Coleman back in the day, like taking the pin out of the weight stack that he was using, and then he like takes the pin and like jabbing it into his pec. That's what a lot of this stuff is. You can kind of work on some rotation. You will find all kinds of stuff. Like I swear to God, the spot I'm on right now, I feel it in my dick. It's not a good feeling, but it feels like whatever this kind of pain is should not be there. So, and look, I'm not anywhere near that area, right? I'm way up here. But it's kind of the angle because it's kind of carving in this way. And so you might want to try to explore, like, what's it like if I'm here? What's it like if I'm here? What's it like if I'm here? They all have different response. And lastly, I'll finish with this, is that it has a different response even on your skin. So sometimes if it's like pulling on your skin, depending on the material, like this isn't really sticking to me at all. And I got some fur down there, so it's not really sticking to me that well. But as I'm here, now it's kind of stuck on my body more. And this creates another type of tension. And you can even kind of screw these things in, move them around a little bit. And your skin pulling is another way for you to work on your fascia. Sometimes you want direct skin contact on some of these things. So many people are hurt, so many people are wrecked, and I think it's just because they're not, a lot of times they're not really sure what to do about it, and then sometimes when they learn that it's going to require a lot of work and quite a bit of pain, they're like, I'm out. But if you really love this stuff, you'll embrace all of it. Anyone can embrace some of it. There we go. I think I'm gonna do like 2 exercises and then be off to a run. Moving the shoulders around a little bit better is a goal of mine, and you know, I do work my chest a lot. I still like to do bench pressing and stuff like that, so getting those shoulders to open up. So I'll do some like probably incline curls, maybe some flies. I'm pretty sore from a workout I did recently with Kenny. A little bit of shoulder movement here, and then who knows what we'll get into. Let me try some of this guy this way. I'll go here. Wait, no, here, this way. Whoops. Get a little discombobulated every once in a while with these movements, since they're new to me. Some stuff I've learned doing a little bit of functional pattern stuff. This probably isn't the exact way that they may prescribe it, but I really like this movement because it's covering a lot of ground. I'm also getting into these kind of spiral positions. There's some rotation required. There's some squatting required. And I could probably do a better job of maybe getting a little lower, maybe do a better job keeping the chest up. So I'll see if I can hit some of those points on this next one. Whoops. Feels really good. Probably looks a little weird. It feels good. I actually do these light all the time, so maybe for today I'll push them a little heavier. Yeah, get the incline pretty steep and make sure the seat is pushed up pretty high. Try to get your head kind of neutral. turn them up. And you can turn them way out. Feels pretty good. It's maybe a normal lateral raise. It's good for your butt cheeks. Whoops. Get a little out of alignment with it here and there. I think we have the tendency, when we see exercises, we say, what is that working? I think in some cases, the question is, what is this not working? Kind of working a little bit of everything. especially when you see someone do like a heavy, you know, kind of heavier lifts, or, you know, deadlift, a clean, a snatch, or some of these movements that are incorporating not only weight, but a lot of variation of movement. There's a lot of variety in this, and there's a lot of different things going on at one time.
Oh, am I getting one? I don't know. A couple days ago, I showed my girlfriend like highlights of
Our buddy, the godfather of dunk, showed us how recovering on the floor is the way to go. And so sometimes just mid-workout, just hit the ground, it feels good. Or midday, rather. Hit the ground at your office. Hit the ground, get back up a couple times, feel good. I do not know how people find my address. That part's a little scary. But somebody sent me this. Or did they? Or maybe this is my own company. M-A-R-K. Could be a new company of mine, you never know. Maybe I have an advantage over everybody. Being dyslexic, seeing everything kind of backwards. Maybe it's been a huge thing for me all this time, who knows. But it's PB&J with extra peanut butter. Or extra protein, I should say. Check out the stats on this bad boy. Get peanut butter and jelly during workout. It's still highly processed food, right? But you gotta have fun with it here and there. It's pretty good. Has like almost 15 grams of protein. I'll go give the rest of it to Nsima, who will not admit He's actually a fat kid. You know I have that.
I'm good with that.
We share all that. So he's such a fat kid, he didn't even ask hardly any questions.
That's fucking... Okay, so tell me, like, how is this healthy? Because this doesn't feel like it should be healthy.
It has 17 grams of protein. That's a little helpful. It does have 10 grams of fat, but that's not too worrisome. Straight.
That's not worrisome at all.
I think it's...
I'm not getting this.
I think it's like... It has olive oil in it. It has honey. I don't see any weird, like, oils.
17 protein, how many carbs?
It has around 25 grams of carbs. Some of it's fiber. I don't know, you can read it better than me.
Bro,
But it's good.
this is a new company?
Yeah, Cram Leb it's called.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's called Cram. I don't know how they found me, but they sent some to me. So
17 grams of protein.
I know, we got to figure this out.
We do.
How good of a little snack is that before jujitsu or something?
That reminds me of like in elementary school, those lunches.
Yeah, what are those things called? Uncrustables. Fat kid in the back wins a free year of Uncrustables.
This is so good. This is so
You
good.
have to be a hater, but that would be incomplete protein. So you have to.
Oh, we got to add like a tiny bit of whey protein to it.
Yo,
There might be. There might be.
and
What's the ingredients?
dude, that and this is the way. All right, let's see.
It must have-
100% whole wheat bread, whole wheat flour, water, wheat gluten, coconut sugar, yeast, honey, olive oil, sea salt, wheat bran, oat fiber, molasses, vinegar, ascorbic acid, natural enzymes, activated peanut butter, roasted peanuts, extra virgin olive oil, whey protein, allulose, sea salt,
Hey!
monk fruit, organic white grape juice from concentrate, water, organic blackberries, apple, pectin, absorbic acid, citric acid, milk, wheat, peanuts. This is fucking good. man.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of shit. It's pretty good.
I love it. I thought it was good. Get myself warmed up for my run. A little extra movement. Doing pretty good. The next time I do that dumbbell movement I was showing you guys, I'll be able to use a little bit more weight. I haven't done that one in a while, and sometimes the heavier weight sometimes is a distraction. But this is a really great movement. Kind of incorporate some shoulders, incorporate some extra movement. Just feels good in general. And then Nsima bought a lot of these bags right here. And Graham has been doing a lot of med ball work, heavy sandbag work. And so I'm pretty pumped to get involved in some of that stuff too. It's just, I kind of like that. This is kind of a forced mobility exercise in a way, at least for me, just because it's challenging, like to try to figure out how to negotiate these things off the ground. And so you have to kind of figure out, like, how am I gonna pick this thing up? It's not a barbell, you know, it doesn't have like a handle, right? And so therefore, a lot of times people will stand directly over top of it. They might get a really wide base. They might come here, get one hand under. They might get the other hand under. And they might intentionally pick it up with kind of a rounded back and then bring it to their knees and then scoop it up. Kind of like yay type thing. Depending on the athlete, depending on how tall someone is. A lot of those strongman guys are huge. They're super tall. but they're still able to get in really good position for these things. So, and this is obviously like light enough to do kind of anything with, right? Like it's not that heavy, but when they have those bigger weights, they have to figure out how they scoot it to their legs quick so they can get a good grapple of it. They lap it, right? And they kind of sit it here, and then they get it up on those boxes. But even just sitting here, just this active, just this movement right here, it feels good. Like I feel quads are engaged. And then in order for me to lift this, I'm not just gonna lift it with my back and my butt, I'm gonna squeeze it. And that contracting the whole body feels so much safer than just trying to like rip a weight off the ground. So I'm excited to kind of mess around with these heavier ones. I think we got one up to like 300. I don't know how crazy I'll get with it, but shit, I know it would be good to, you know, be able to put this one up on a high box or something would be a good goal at first, and kind of take it from there. It's been a while since I really messed with any of that stuff. I've never actually really learned how to do much with the sandbags or any of the implements that they used in strongman, but it's exciting to have different things to pick up. This guy over here, kind of same deal. Just a heavy bag. It's not crazy heavy, but it's just weird and different to pick up. And you pick it up, you can, I mean, it's not really, it's just limited to your imagination of what you want to try to do with it. Shoulder it, walk with it, squat with it, lunge with it. I mean, think about you walk this for freaking 200 yards or something. It's like you're going to feel it. Or 100 yards here and 100 yards on the other side type thing. Pretty cool. Maybe try to go a little further away. Maybe try to jump from like there. I don't know. Whoa. Let's see, back it up. There we go. All right, we're off to the races. Gonna switch into these guys. Sometimes when I've been running lately, it actually has been, been kind of beating up my feet. So it's good to get yourself into some different shoes. I use different shoes all the time. I'll run in everything from sandals. Unfortunately, I'm not practicing that much barefoot running, and that should be incorporated too. When I get over to the track, I need to actually commit to that. That'd be another great way to train, but I use all different kinds of shoes. Sometimes I'm in Vivos. These are a little bit more protective. These are actually Nsima's kicks, but these are a little bit more protective than some of the standard Vivos, and this might be better for a trail or something like that, or if you're just looking for a little bit more cushion when you're going on your run, because some of these minimalist shoes, sometimes, even though they are strengthening your feet and have great benefit, it can just be a lot. And I really enjoy running quite a bit, and so therefore I change up my shoes. So people might say, hey, why do you have all that padding under your foot? You're doing it the wrong way. This is just protective. It's just another training tool. So these are Ultras. I like this brand a lot. I will most often run in the Escalante, but for today, not sure what this one's called, but you can probably look it up on their website. I dig this one quite a bit. There we go. You know, and it's kind of funny because I'm sure, you know, runners probably have like different perspective on how tight the shoe should be and all this stuff. But like, for me, my foot is freaking wide and it's kind of tall. And so I have my laces real loose. And you know, if I'm really gonna try to like sprint, then maybe I gotta tie them up a little bit, but I'm not really to the point where I'm running out of my shoes, so we're still good. I'm not sure, I didn't get some closer shots of it. I'm not sure if it says like any of the branding on there or whatever, but maybe in here, the size of the shoe. These are also some really great kicks too. These are Ultras, and this is the shoe that they have that has a carbon fiber foot plate in them, and so you see how stiff, right? I can't bend that one that well versus this one, right? This one has a carbon fiber foot plate that's going to flip you forward. See? It's going to flip you forward, and so I suggest a lot of times for a bigger runner or newer runner that even though that is like, those are expensive shoes, the Nike Alpha Flies and so on, I think it's a great place for a lot of people to start their fitness journey because, or their running journey rather, because you don't want to get beat up on your runs at all. There we go, we are locked and loaded. Hopefully you learned something from today's workout. You probably saw that I didn't do like that much working out, I didn't do that much lifting, but tomorrow I'm going to get after it. Tomorrow will be a more traditional, almost like bodybuilding style workout. I probably do those about twice a week right now, and mixed in with sled, sandbag, plyos, med ball, a little bit like direct upper body training, a little bit of squats, a little bit of deadlifts. But really, I think what's going to happen over the next couple months is the amount of stimulus that I'll need from lifting will be like almost next to nothing. Because of sprinting, because of sled dragging and those things, I won't really have to, you know, sit here and, you know, be like, I need 50 reps for leg curl. I need 50 reps for biceps. I need 50 reps for this with this amount of weight. I won't really need hardly any of that. And I'm probably there-ish already, but I don't, at the moment, still working on building out my prowess with running. And as I do that, I'll be able to continue to get more and more from it. So before I go on my run for today, I wanted to show you guys these punts. This is a company called Wallaco. I wear their shorts, I wear their pants. They have kind of regular shorts with a liner of this type of material on the inside. They also have just compression shorts. They also have these kind of like leggings, I guess you'd call them. And it's got some cool features. It's got a place for your phone right here on the side. And this material that this is made out of is like water resistant to a certain extent. You know, if it's middle of the summer, your phone still might get kind of wet, you know. And then it's also got another spot over here for your keys. As simple as that is, or maybe for another phone or for your burner phone or for whatever. As simple as that is, like there's not a lot of stuff out there that has that. So I actually won't leave my house. These are like literally always in my car because I never know when a run's gonna break out. You guys that like running, you know what I'm talking about. So this is a great brand, great company. Really love the fit. Wallaco. There you go. Boing.